What messages are conveyed at the recently dedicated World War II Memorial in Washington, D.C.? Does this memorial accurately describe the courage and sense of duty demonstrated by those who fought the war? Can it fairly depict the challenges and obstacles that were overcome in achieving victory? What stories can an impressive memorial as this pass along to future generations? Roughly 30 miles from the World War II Memorial in Chantilly, Virginia, these stories of the Second World War are being passed along to Fairfax County Public School students. This is World War II Oral History Day at Rocky Run Middle, where over 30 World War II veterans and civilians of the period shared their stories with 7th grade students. During the war, Mike Ingrisano was a radio operator who flew paratroopers over the English Channel during the D-Day landings.
And when we took off, they just caught at enough speed to clear the hangars. And then eventually we could get to our altitude. And I said to him, you know, Bill, if I had known then what I know now, I'd have been sweating from the very beginning.
Now, almost 60 years from that day, Mike agrees Oral History Day allows students to get a truly unique perspective of the events of World War II.
The one thing is that an understanding of what war is all about, that it's not a glamorous thing. And by telling the story and not making it too bloody, so to speak, but enough that they know that it's not a piece of cake, that that's not the answer to all world problems. War is not.
Toby Felker flew a vast array of combat aircraft from America's heartland to the European and Pacific theaters as a Woman's Air Force Service Pilot, or WASP.
I think the thing I learned from being in the service was the fact that you can do anything you really want to if you keep your goal in mind and if you nurture your dream. And I have such a hope. I have 3 children of my own, but all the children I get to talk to, I want them to know, keep nurturing your dream.
Oral History Day was started several years ago by Rocky Run history teacher Jamie Sawatzky. In the first year, Sawatzky had only a small number of veterans speaking just to his students. The program has since grown to include every 7th grader at Rocky Run. In lecture halls and in small groups, students listen, learn, and have the opportunity to interview over 30 veterans and civilians from what's called the greatest generation.
It occurred to me one day that this is really the last generation that's going to have the opportunity to talk to the greatest generation. They're going to be the last ones to get their stories from and to hear them, and they'll pass it down. That's the great thing about it. Their grandkids, my students' grandkids, won't have the opportunity to talk with a guy who was at D-Day, or talk with a woman who was a radio operator in Poland during the Warsaw Uprising, or talk to somebody who was at Pearl Harbor. But they can then tell their kids, look, when I was in 7th grade, I talked to this guy. I spent 45 minutes talking with him, and he answered all my questions, and it was just a great experience.
I've learned that they had to go through a lot to make sure that we still have freedom.
Take, for example, Mr. Ingrisano. He was a radio operator in a plane, and he flew over D-Day and dropped paratroopers. You don't usually meet people that do that. It's very interesting. You don't usually meet people who go and do like heroic things like this every day.
When they sit down, they're a different creature. They are all so in tune with the people that they're interviewing. They're so respectful. They realize that this is an event of importance. They realize that this is going to be something that they're going to tell their kids and their grandkids about. They realize that this is probably the best educational experience that they're going to get in middle school, at least in my humble opinion.
These middle school students, though, I think you can congratulate your school. They are well prepared. I think the teachers have helped them immensely. I've never had such an intelligent audience.
From Melvin Rosen, a Marine who survived the Bataan Death March, to Henriette Weigel, who with the Belgian resistance fought the Germans, Oral History Day provides a rare opportunity for these extraordinary lessons of history to be passed from generation to generation. So when these 7th graders are grown and raising their children, the World War II Memorial in Washington will be accompanied by the stories of the veterans these students have met.